Yeah, what do you think is something that stops people from being a good negotiator? Like, what would be a fear or a concern you think is a general? I mean, because you work with a lot of agents, so what do you think stops them?
It really falls into two buckets, in my opinion. One is ego,
Okay.
right? Like people are scared to kind of lower their guard and discuss certain things with the other side. They just, they want to feel like they're the one that's always willing to walk away and, if they don't want to work with us, no problem kind of thing. And you'll lose a lot of opportunities that way that otherwise you could have had if you would have just been willing to do that.
Yeah.
The second thing is being afraid of getting the other party mad.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to be able to remember that it's never personal, and it's a healthy debate, and you have to be willing to say exactly what you mean or say things that don't necessarily align with what the other party is thinking right now, and be okay with however they're going to react, because eventually that smooths itself out.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Now that you say that, because I can understand. I mean, I know that I have my husband he's a negotiator, not to say the least.
He is.
But sometimes I get uncomfortable, and he's not even negotiating with me. I'm like, what the hell is the other person feeling? But I think that it's important to be able to not make people feel uncomfortable, be okay with them feeling uncomfortable, because sometimes you're not even dealing with what you're negotiating with. You're just dealing with some type of belief that they have or some fear that they're dealing with, and it's not really even valid to the transaction.
Exactly. And there's a radical honesty that kind of births from that, right? Because if you're willing to do that and you're willing to make the other party uncomfortable temporarily, that eventually turns into respect and trust, because they realize, okay, he was willing to put everything on the table right now. He was willing to tell us exactly what he means, and they eventually get comfortable with that, and they're like, okay, I should probably consider making a deal with this person.
Yeah, I think that negotiating almost sounds, there's like, when you think of negotiating, there could be a negative tone to it. And I believe that it doesn't have to be that way. I think negotiating in itself can be redefined, especially in real estate and really in any business. Being able to come to a table and find common ground is a negotiation.
The way I picture it in my mind when I'm doing it is it's sharing ideas, right? If I have an idea and you have an idea and we share these ideas, now we have two new ideas. And that's how we make a deal.
Yeah.
I have an idea about how to help you. You have an idea about how to help me. We collaborate.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's so important. Yeah, I think that especially to younger agents or people in business, I think when you get a little intimidated about the idea of negotiating, when you look at it from a new perspective, there's so much opportunity, and really it's a collaboration, and there can be a win-win, and a lot of the times, most times there is, when you have good negotiators, because they're finding the common ground that's needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's so important.